Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some huge stuff here to close out the week. When it comes to the 2024 election, we've got internal polling data that suggests Donald Trump is up by more than people think. You look at any of the metrics. What do you think about the economy? Who do you trust with the immigration policy? Trump is up in basically all of them, even with the fake hype surrounding Kamala Harris. It seems to be losing steam. That's why she's probably going to be announcing Josh Shapiro to be her VP tomorrow. That's is expected the announcement to come tomorrow. And will Shapiro help her in Pennsylvania? I would say maybe by half a point. Yes, it's very overrated when it comes to how much a VP matters. I get the question all the time with Vance. Did Trump make the right choice? You know, they're saying, oh, Trump might switch. He might, move on from Vance. It's all Democrat propaganda. He is not moving on from Vance. That's ridiculous. That would make him look insanely weak. That will not be happening. Vance is fine. And when it comes to someone like Josh Shapiro, he's got a nice approval rating and he's in the most important state in the 2024 election. So it's not surprising that they will very likely choose Shapiro. When it comes to this, I am going to update just to see what the current betting odds are on Shapiro. If the thing can update, right now he's at around 56%. You do have Tim Walz at 27% chance. That's an interesting development with Walz because I know a lot of the top Democrats do like Walz. So maybe they might choose him. Either way, listen, I think it's kind of inconsequential, but there's big stuff surrounding Trump's polling right now. We're going to react to some of these tweets. You've got this little catfight going on right now with Kamala and Trump. You can see Trump backs out of ABC debate with Harris. That's actually not true. But again, am I really going to do this? It's like, do I really want to go through this? I mean, I'll talk about it for 30 seconds or whatever. Trump had agreed to a debate with Joe Biden. That was the ABC debate. Harris had agreed to a debate with J.D. Vance, if you remember that. And actually, it was the Trump campaign that said, no, we're not, like right now, J.D. Vance can agree to that debate. We're not going to set a time because we think that you're going to be switching out Biden for Harris. If you remember, that's what actually happened, where the Trump administration and their campaign was like, no, we're not going to set a time because we don't know who the nominee for your party is going to be. That ended up being right because obviously now it's Harris with Biden gone. But it's just like this whole idea. Trump was scheduled to debate Joe Biden. Kamala Harris was scheduled to debate J.D. Vance. So are you saying under these guidelines, if Trump is backing out of the debate with Harris that was originally scheduled for Biden, then Harris backed out of the debate scheduled with J.D. Vance? That's what they're saying. But see, this whole thing is so stupid. I just want them to debate. Apparently now Trump is saying it's going to be September 4th on Fox News or nothing. We would like to see a debate here. We really would. When it comes to Trump possibly not debating, I don't understand. You could say, well, if he's winning, there's no need to do that. But I don't know, man. I want to see a presidential debate. Come on. But Trump wants it on Fox News. There's a lot of posturing. That's probably the best word to describe this entire situation by both campaigns. They both release something. It's you're backing out. No, you're backing out. If we want to be fair to Trump, he did go on CNN, which is a liberal network, to debate. And listen, CNN was very fair. The way they did it, that's fine. I'm not saying they were biased or anything. I really didn't think they were going to be biased because the format makes it very hard to be biased the way where someone can talk, the other person, their mic is muted, and then you just go back and forth. And that's how they did it with Trump and Biden. So the other thing is people wondering, will Trump go back onto X? Because there's a lot of things Trump is saying right now on Truth Social, people having to screenshot them. I know people are like, well, it doesn't matter. They're getting shotted, they're getting shared. But the impact if Trump is tweeting it is so much more than someone reposting something that was from Truth Social. Obviously, we know that Trump, that's his company. And he makes a lot of money exclusively being on Truth Social. He's probably going to lose a lot if he were to go back to X. But I do think even if it's just a few tweets, maybe once every 3 days, it doesn't even have to be anything crazy, just a funny meme. I do think Trump having a presence on X, especially considering what's happened with X, now that he's unbanned with Elon Musk, it'd be stupid not to take advantage of that. Some people do argue that it's better Trump is not on X because some of the things he says, maybe it's just better to keep it sequestered on Truth Social. I mean, I wish he was back on X fully, but we understand why he's on Truth Social. But I would say the strategy should be just maybe do it like once every 3 days, keep most of your stuff on Truth Social, But again, I guess he thinks it's bad for his brand and things like that. This was another general election poll that recently came out, and yeah, this was a polling sample, Democrat +5, so pretty crazy to have that. You can see right here, party ID, Dems 46%, Republicans 41, Independent 13. You could definitely argue that's not going to be the electorate, possibly even, maybe the correct accurate representation would be tied. So it would be like a Dem 43, Republican 43, and then the rest independents. But even in this, you've got Harris only up by 1. Harris versus Vance, I'm not sure why that was done, but I mean, that's, not an amazing look for Vance, but it really doesn't matter. And then just the generic ballot. I mean, obviously Dems are going to be leading if they've got a 5-point lead in terms of the sample ballot. I think those are good numbers when you look at the internal stuff, how the party ID was +5 for the Dems. I don't think that's accurate. If you want to say it's +2, maybe I could buy that, but if that was the case, Trump would be ahead in this. Either way, it is anecdotal. It's within the margin of error, but I'm just saying if this was accurately done in terms of how I think the party ID will be in 2024, I think Trump would probably be leading this around 49-46, maybe 49-47, something like that. To be clear, Harris +1 in a D +5 poll. We all know the environment at best is even. I don't know if the environment is even. It's hard to sample something like this. Obviously, when it comes to the popular vote right now, Harris is the favorite, like 60-40, I think. That doesn't mean Trump can't win it. But at best case, if you're doing a poll right now, I would say oversample Dems by 2 at the most, I would say, not by 5. You do also have, here's some more internal metrics. These are the things that I'm talking about. And on every single one of these, it was really bad with Biden to where it was like, there's no way Biden can win. If you look at who do you trust more with immigration, who do you trust more with inflation, who do you trust more with foreign affairs, it was all heavily leaning towards trusting Trump by like 20 points more than Biden. This was just done. You can see, July 30th to August 2nd, so 2 days ago. Voters by 20 points believe they would be better off financially with Trump if he wins. People don't vote against their interests. Financially better, you can see if Trump wins 45-25, worse off. Kamala leading that, and then staying about the same. You can see. So yeah, I do think these are more good numbers for Trump. And then obviously we all know, it goes without saying, when it comes to things like inflation, Trump's going to win that category by default when you compare his administration versus the Biden-Harris administration. Now, some of that you can say is because of the pandemic, but they also gave that extra stimulus check, which is just pure printing money, and that hurt inflation a lot. And then they had their Inflation Reduction Act, which was a failure. It was a flop. Even Democrats admitted it. It didn't do much. It's been stagnant around 3.5-4%. They needed it to go lower based on how bad it was back, I think, in 2021, 2022, when it hit 8 or 9%, which is just uncontrollable. That's why we've seen inflation at around 23-24%. Within the Biden administration from 2021 to now. It is out of control. That is the one thing you cannot. I mean, there's a lot of things you can't have when it comes to the economy, but if you've got your money in a bank account, you're losing. Your dollar is now worth 75 cents. It's pretty remarkable, and it's going to be very hard to see Kamala Harris, considering how unqualified she is. She didn't even win a primary. She hasn't debated any other Democrats. Now she's just going to come in with this crazy inflation rate under her administration, let alone all of the border problems. Trump leading. If you ask, Who do you trust more with the border, Trump or Harris? It's going to be Trump by about 25 to 30 points. It's not even close. And Democrats are just blatantly lying when they say they want a stronger border. They just want to retain power. They do not want a stronger border. It is actually incentivized that they have a weaker border to let more people in to potentially get more votes. So when they say that, it's just pure pandering because they're trying to stay in office. And in 2025, 2026, there's going to be a lot different of a tune. I mean, Elizabeth Warren already did say last week that, they want a pathway to citizenship for the 10 million illegals already in the country. That's very important for them, and she admitted it live on TV. So all of this has come out. By the way, there was an interview earlier with George Stephanopoulos. I don't know if I have it on here, but he was just so nasty. I don't think I've seen someone that nasty. Here it is right here. George Stephanopoulos talking about Kamala Harris's. Yeah, I'm gonna actually talk about this for a second, because just look at him. Even I just paused it and just look how disgusting this dude is. This is disgusting. Seriously, if I was Byron Donalds, and this is why I'll never be on TV or any type of these politicians, but with how nasty Stephanopoulos was, if I'm doing an interview like going on ABC, they ask me on, it's a Sunday segment, and Stephanopoulos is acting like this with this tone, I mean, I would just say, dude, are you on your period or something? Why are you so nasty? This was disgusting right here. This is disgusting. That's what Stephanopoulos is, but Stephanopoulos is like crazy about the racial identity. Kamala Harris said she was Indian. She didn't say anything about being black 3 or 4 years ago. She made it a race thing. I've never been on the whole race thing where Trump makes it, oh, she's not black, whatever. Who really cares? I would just say if I was, being asked this question, I don't care. But Harris, just like JD Vance said, she changes her race, based on what is advantageous for her, based on where she is. So like she'll lean into the Indian side and then she'll lean into the black side. It's just a dishonest thing to do. That's all we're arguing. But this was disgusting. If you guys go watch this, Stephanopoulos, I mean, what a nasty, nasty individual. Donald's is a lot nicer than I would have been with that. To get that type of attitude, that's ridiculous. Hillary Clinton won women, Hispanic, and black voters by larger margins than Kamala Harris has in the CBS polls. Yes, it's all the underlying stuff that's looking better and better and better for Trump. And now on top of all of this, it's come out that Kamala Harris HQ, which just constantly lies. I mean, like every one of their tweets is some type of lie, lying about the Trump rally. They have to bring in, I mean, I'd love to see Kamala Harris's next rally. I mean, I think this is crazy. It's been admitted, apparently, they had to like take a look at this. They had to bring people in. Ex-users exposed the Harris campaign with dozens of videos showing that by the time Donald Trump started speaking, that's not what I wanted to see. Don't let the rally fool you, according to one Atlanta resident, because Fulton County has been doing it for years. Before the rallies, they get busloads and they go and pick up homeless people to go to the rallies by offering them food and drinks. And supposedly, I mean, this is just such a mess. I want to see Kamala Harris's next rally. Are they going to have to bring on another rapper? I mean, it was already exposed by Aiden Ross. He's like, I'm in with a lot of these rappers. They're screenshots. Kamala Harris is mass sending these texts or these DMs, or her campaign is saying, do you want to perform for me because I can't sell out an arena. I need the rapper to come in and sell it out. Let's get Kamala Harris into one of these 20,000 seat arenas with no rapper or anything and no homeless people being incentivized to come in because of the food and stuff. She can't fill a single one. Why would she fill anything? They didn't choose her. She has no real hype. It's all fake hype. That's why they do these Zoom calls. That's why they have to have rappers. She didn't run a primary. She didn't debate other people. She didn't win millions and millions and millions of votes. Of course, there's no hype for her. That she's been installed. So why would there be any hype for her? Nobody voted for her. So this all makes sense on why they're having so much problems doing this. And Kamala Harris comes in. She doesn't get questioned at all. There's no, tough things. She doesn't do any big time press conferences. But she goes from a -15, actually like worse than Biden in some cases, -15, -16 approval rating to where she is now by the power of and the manipulation of the mainstream media. And Trump gets all the criticism for going to the thing with the black journalists when she didn't even show up to that. You would think it'd be easier for her to go there. I don't know why she didn't. But now they're saying, they're going to hide her again. That's not going to work. I mean, they could at least use the excuse with Biden. Oh, it's COVID. We have to hide him. And then he did the rallies where 10 people were there and there'd be like the circle where you couldn't get out of the circle, things like that. Or he'd do the car rallies, which is just a joke. So that they could do that with Biden because of the pandemic. They can't do it with Harris. So I'm wondering, what is the potential plan? Are they just going to have to deploy all the rappers during these rallies, or are they going to have to bribe people with food and money to go to these rallies because nobody wants to go? Why would they? Harris has no real supporters. Of course, the Democrats do support her because she's going up against Trump. But in terms of actually going to a rally and listening to her speak, she's been installed. Nobody really cares. Like, is it really that surprising that she's got no real base support? That's why they have to hire all these rappers to go perform just so she gets. I mean, this was her coming off an event she had, she couldn't even fill up a elementary school gym. I did a video on it. There were 66 people there. Now she's filling up an arena. Oh, but one of the most famous rappers is there. Pay no attention to that. No, no, no. Let's see her actually fill up an arena without a rapper or anything like that. She's had one major event. She had to use a rapper. It's a joke. Of course, but there's no pure Harris fans. Nobody's voted for Harris ever. I mean, in a general sense, ever. She ran the primary back in 2019. She didn't make it to Iowa, which is the first caucus or primary. And then in 2024, there's no primary to be had. She gets installed because of how bad Biden was. And even you've got people like Obama who didn't want to endorse her. They were forced to after realizing it was going to be her for sure, with Biden rallying around her and some of the others. It was reported that that Obama did not want Biden to endorse Kamala Harris. He wanted it to be an open convention, but now they're forced to rally behind Harris. And that's how this whole thing has happened. And now Harris will probably pick Shapiro tomorrow to be the VP, or maybe Tim Walz. We'll have to see. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Links to that's always in the description.